Welcome back to my channel, you guys. So for today's video, we are going to be making a new vision board. I'm actually starting out pretty much from scratch this time because I've been using kind of the same template each time, but I got burned out on it. I wanted something like a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So I did find this template on PicMonkey. I looked up vision boards and I did find, like, I just like the way this one looks. So I'm not going to use all the pictures because they don't really apply, obviously, to my situation, but I like the way it was laid out and kind of how it was functioning. So the first thing you want to do whenever you make a vision board is figure out kind of like what your template's going to look like. Like if you want to have pictures, you want to do it online versus like on paper, kind of just your own theme. I'm just deciding to do mine on the computer because I feel like that's the fastest and easiest. So I first started out with what I wanted to be a quote for the whole year, or like some sort of theme that I'm going to go for. But I couldn't find anything that I like really liked as far as a quote or anything online, just kind of being generic. So I did find this one quote on TikTok of all places. And it's always like in a humorous way in the videos, but at the same time, I'm like, it's really fitting for my situation. So I'll play that here and then you'll know what the theme is.
I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first, Lucius.
And I promise you.
So after hearing that, I was like, I feel like nothing else fits better than that this year. Not only is it funny, but the fact that I don't feel like I ever really put myself first. I always kind of put my needs down in the back burner and kind of hope for the best. But obviously that's not healthy for anyone. That's why I went with that theme versus what I was planning on doing in general, which was kind of like picking out like a generic quote. So with the templates here, it did ask for some specific like goals to list out, and I tried to find things that were completely attainable. I tried to make it so that it would be fairly easy to do, but I could get kind of some momentum, because I feel like that's the biggest thing when you're starting new habits, is trying to find things that are attainable, and don't set yourself kind of up for failure. So, and I think I've done that in the past where I'm like, oh, I'm going to lose like X amount of pounds by this day. And you're like, okay, but do you have a plan to do that? Like, how is that going to work, So that's why I'm kind of starting out with some small goals. And I definitely recommend reading the book Atomic Habits. I read that last year and a lot of that really resonated with me. So I just really highly promote that book. I'm not getting paid, but if you guys want to sponsor me, that'd be great. But so let's get into the goals that I've set for myself. So number 1 is to eat a vegetable with 2 meals of the day minimum. So I figured breakfast, I tend to grab something quick and easy, so I feel like that might be more difficult to eat a vegetable with because I'd have to possibly cook it or what have you. And most of the time I'm just grab and going. So I felt like putting down 3 meals a day seems silly. Now, if I want to have a snack of a vegetable, sure, that'll be an extra one in there. But as far as my meals go, lunch and dinner, I want to focus on trying to implement some sort of vegetable, preferably a larger portion of vegetables than like a carbohydrate. So that's pretty much the goal on that front. So that's a very small goal, and I feel like that's pretty easy to do. Also, and that's just basically to get me to eat more vegetables. And then eat less carbs. So the other option, or other thing I wrote on here, is to find an exercise that I like to do and do it for 10 minutes a day. I feel like that's a pretty straightforward thing to do. I have to find some exercise that like I can tolerate doing for 10 minutes a day. Now, I know you're thinking like that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're going from like 0, then that's progress in my book. And if I could do it every day, then if I'm feeling like better, I could be like, oh, I'll do an extra 5 today, or kind of like go up from there. But I feel like with me, I've not done it for so long that it's getting the habit started and trying to get on a pace of doing it and finding some time where I designate for that activity. So I feel like that's the biggest thing. So that's what I want to implement. And trying to do my best at sleeping 8 hours a day. So I was getting better about it last year, but just definitely being more on a schedule, because I do go through bouts of, oh, I'm off today, so I will sleep in and do whatever I want. And then I don't, I stay up longer and it kind of spirals out of control. So basically not only with sleeping 8 hours, but trying to keep a fixed schedule with that. Now, I also made a note, which is some of these are continuation of last year, but like they're a little more honed in. One of the things I want to do is make sure that I either read or listen to a book for 15 minutes a day. I feel like that's a pretty small amount of time, pretty doable. Either I could listen to my audiobook on the way to work, on lunch, I could read at night, something like that. But I do want to get some definite routines in my day, which is a thing I was trying to focus on last year. I'm still trying to improve on. And I feel like maybe reading before bed, that'll get me off my phone, but at the same time, I'm getting some like brain activities and kind of calming myself down before I go to bed. Also, this is actually, hold on, I skipped one. Focusing on meditation. This one, let's see, I put it once a day. So I'm not focused on a specific amount of meditation, just maybe some sort of time where I focus inward, like a quiet moment kind of thing. It doesn't have to be a large amount. But again, I feel like if I set a habit of doing it and a routine, then I would be consistent and I really enjoy it and I would continue with it, because I used to meditate all the time and I've just really gotten out of the habit of it. But I think that would help a lot with my stress. So, do not take work burdens home. So I've already made some steps to improving my work situation. That's probably for a future video, but at the moment, there's some steps in progress to hopefully alleviate this problem, because I feel like for many years now, there's been drama at work and things go on and I come home and I dwell on it and I probably blow up literally everyone's ear about it because it just stresses me out so much. And year after year, I don't do anything. This year, I've taken action on that. So I'm hoping that that'll necessarily be taken care of soon. But at the same time, I want to leave work at work, finding a work-life balance, you could say. Also continuing to create. So that's basically still working on my YouTube channel, working on projects, things that I find joy in and that are calming for me, things that I enjoy, that I can kind of put my energy into. And it also goes along with the limiting TV and phone time. I feel like I'm terrible about like getting stuck in a rut, like as far as being on the TV or my phone or something like that, and killing a lot of time, like where I could be doing something more productive or something that's better for my brain, I feel like. So those kind of tie hand in hand. Like I feel like if I'm doing other things like exercising and eating healthier and doing all these other things, that'll be more productive use of my time, even meditating. So those kind of go hand in hand. So I haven't set up a specific limit on my TV time or my phone time, but just being more mindful about it. Maybe even setting up my phone to kind of like block me, like, hey, you've been on TikTok a long time, get off. So that probably would be good for me. And then also along with the whole theme of this year, I put learn to be selfish every once in a while. It's kind of a little redundant because I got to put me first, but I feel like that's something that I don't do very much. And I feel like this is more work related than anything else. But I feel like it's very prominent in my life. And I feel like a lot of my other goals haven't happened because I've been stressed and kind of depressed about my previous situation I was in. So I feel like getting out of that should hopefully help improve a little bit of everything else. As far as water goes, I put 60 ounces of water a day minimum. I feel like I should probably be drinking way more than that, but at this rate, I just want like a bare minimum goal. Like there's times where I go through phases and I don't really drink water at all, and it's really terrible. So I don't want to go through those cycles anymore. I want to make sure I'm on a good habit of drinking consistent water. That way I feel normal and things are moving normally. And then I did make this note on here. This is really contingent on how, the state of health is, I guess. But I had really wanted to travel with my dad and my mother-in-law this year. We had planned to do like some sort of family trip, and initially it was going to be like in May, but I'm not really sure what's happening with that because obviously the state of affairs has changed so rapidly, since I initially made that goal. I was talking to them, let me see, it would have probably been like September, and I was like, wow, it'd be so nice to like have a family trip, maybe to Hawaii, because my family's never been there and his mom hasn't been there. But now I'm like, I don't know what's going to be going on then. And then with me switching jobs at the same time, it's kind of a little trickier, but we'll have to figure that out. But it would be nice at some point to be able to have like some sort of family trip, because I just want my dad to have that experience and have that time with him. And I want his mother to have that experience as well, because I feel like she's never been anywhere like super fancy or anything like that, or just never had that type of experience. So that's one of my goals. I just have to try to figure out how the logistics of that will work. But yeah, so that's what I want to focus on as well, trying to make that goal happen. I'm going to link the book Atomic Habits down in the description box. Again, I'm not promoting them for profit, obviously, but at the same time, it is a good book. I think there's really highly recommended. And I feel like it really helped to kind of hone in on like just kind of putting goals to paper and to be able to help yourself try to make things more attainable and manageable just by making the goals more bite-sized. My baby is still forefront on here. I still want to get pregnant, and that's still a goal. So I really want to make that happen. But again, we've got some things in the process. We're seeing a new doctor. So I'm really hoping that will be a goal we can achieve soon as well. But all these things go together: decreasing your levels of stress, getting healthier, weight loss would be wonderful, but I'm hoping that doing these other things, as far as getting my diet in order, exercising, getting more rest, not being stressed all the time, these things which should help with weight loss anyway. But, I don't know. So you guys chime off in the comments about what you guys are working on. And, again, so leave me a comment on anything that you would like to see this year and kind of how things are going, and what you guys' goals are working on, and we can kind of share with the community. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.
I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first, Lucius.
I understand that, and I promise you,